Welcome to all of you, and delighted to be over at Gretna. I will not preempt the issue. I just can say how delighted we are to have Jim Tripp back.
No region of the United States has benefited more from Jim's leadership and thoughtfully applied insights than Louisiana's coast. Louisiana's coast is home to 37% of the nation's coastal marsh, a world-class freshwater and saltwater fishery, numerous threatened and endangered species, and 90% of the nation's wetland loss. James T.B. Tripp understood the riches of this coast and the dangers of losing it better than most, and translated that understanding into powerful advocacy for concrete, concerted efforts to preserve and restore and maintain this vital region of the United States economy and ecosystem. Now, therefore, I, John Bel Edwards, do hereby give special commendation and recognition to James T.B. Tripp in acknowledgement of his years of outstanding service to the state of Louisiana. Signed, Governor John Bel Edwards.
I think Jim's contribution to Louisiana goes back well into the 70s and 80s when he raised awareness of this coastal land loss issue. He was one of the first to work with scientists and work with policymakers to really understand what's happening on our coast.
Jim's one of those guys that we all run across along the way, that we all aspire to be in terms of his commitment, which was unfailing beginning in the 70s in Louisiana. So he really is a founding father of this movement in ways that virtually nobody else is. It's really quite impressive.
Well, I call Jim the godfather of the Coalition to Restore Coastal Louisiana. It was his idea to start this. It's been a privilege working with him. And he's not only knowledgeable, he's passionate about it. Just very appreciative of all that he's done.
I can't underestimate the importance of his voice. When Governor Foster formed an advisory task force, he was one of the initial members. That group came up with recommendations about national, international outreach within all of the areas of our state. It's been a treasure and a privilege to work with him.
Jim and I worked to get the first wetland restoration bill passed, and so he has always been out in front from the policy standpoint of everybody. What I've tried to do is backfill the science behind him.
He has been a close and critical advisor to me. I've always thought of Jim as my teacher, and I'm a student not always doing as well as I should. He has been a remarkable, steady educator. Without him, I'm not sure where the hell we would be.
Doing work down here with all of you and a lot of other people who are not here today has meant a whole lot to me. I came down here in 1954, and I was at that time from New York. I just couldn't believe it. I can't still believe it today. Why isn't the whole country outraged?
Jim recognized that Louisiana is a national treasure and that we had to make the case nationally between land loss, pollution, climate change, sea level rise. We have to come up with solutions in this country. And coastal Louisiana is the laboratory for doing that.
This is North America's Great Delta. The Mississippi River built this delta. It carries a huge amount of sediment every year. Most of it is wasted. There's a lot of work to be done to use the vast majority of that sediment beneficially, and it's the only way the coast is going to be saved. Thank you all very much. It's been an enormous pleasure. And for all of you who have tolerated all my talking about the Delta over all these years, I appreciate it very much. This is a group of people with whom I've been working, some of them for 45 years. It's been a remarkable experience, and they're all capable of continuing this fight to get the job of coastal restoration done.